Welcome to the Dragons TV halftime show. I'm James Biernot, and 34-33 is your score at the half with the Monmouth Hawks up over the Drexel Dragons right now. It is senior day for the Dragons, so keep that in mind. It's a very special day where we get to celebrate all of our great seniors who have contributed so much to this program. If you're watching this game, it's been truly a back and forth battle, lots of lead switches, and if you watch these two teams' first matchup of the year, this will come as no surprise. The final score in that game was 104-97, a double overtime thriller that saw Monmouth come out on top. In that game, Madison Durr had 40 points on 19 made free throws, and additionally, Abdi Bashir, who is Monmouth's best player, had an additional 32 points. The Dragons are definitely doing a better job holding both of them in scoring today. And with that, let's take it into the halftime stats presented by Drexel University Physical Therapy. Drexel University PT is the solution to your nagging aches and pains and is located conveniently on Drexel's campus. Contact Drexel PT by scanning the QR code on screen. So as we are looking here at the halftime stats, the Dragons right now are shooting about 43% from the field, 36% from three, so neither of those numbers definitely very poor, but I'd like to see their volume go up, especially in three-point shooting. Probably not from Deuce tonight. We'll talk about Deuce in a little bit. Jason Drake not having his best game, but Kobe McGee definitely is one of the better shooters in the conference. He needs to be taking more triple attempts. The Dragons are out-rebounding Monmouth, which is a good sign, and that is a big credit to Cole Hargrove and his physicality. He was perfect from the field against Hampton on Thursday night, one of the big keys why they were able to sneak out with the win there. And today he has added 6 points and looked really great on both sides of the ball. With that, let's take it into the halftime adjustments presented by Rothman Orthopedics, the official team physicians of your Dragons, providing the region with unmatched orthopedic care. So the first adjustment I want to talk about is something the Dragons have battled with all year, and that is falling into scoring droughts. Against Hampton, it was very obvious. They had multiple stretches of 4 or more minutes where they were unable to score, and in today's game, they've had multiple stretches of 2+ minutes where they've been unable to score. This needs to stop, and I think with that, they need to go back to the basics, and for my second adjustment, that includes tightening the rotation. Coach Zach Spiker had done a great job of getting all the players that needed minutes, getting them the right minutes in the right scenarios, and that's why the Dragons were able to take down Charleston in a big way at home and Delaware on the road, as well as Hampton at home. Today, we've seen minutes from Ralph Akuta, who we have not seen in weeks, Josh Reed, Horace Simmons, a lot of guys that don't really get big minutes, especially not in the first half of a tight game that is going to determine where you fall in the seeds 7 through 10 for the tournament next weekend. And a final adjustment for today, 6 turnovers for the Dragons in the first half have allowed Monmouth to score 10 of their 34 points. That is something the Dragons are doing to themselves, and they need to stop in the second half. But taking it to a much more positive note, I want to give a big shout out first to William Garcia Adston, who has looked electric on the defensive side of the ball today, as well as adding 4 points on 2 buckets from the field. A guy who's really has not looked great today is Jason Deuce Drake, like I mentioned previously. He was 0 for 8 from the field in the first half. Not a great number for him, especially for a guy that's put up multiple 20-point performances this year. And finally, I want to give a big shout out to some of the Dragons veterans. Yame Butler, one of our big seniors, is having a big day. 10-point game for him so far after 3 straight kind of worst performances from Yame. Additionally, Kobe McGee has added 8 points and Cole Hargrove has had 6 in this first half. Going on to the next point I want to make is the Dragons, although they've hit 4 3-pointers in the first half, and that's a much better sign, still should increase their volume of 3-point shooting, I believe. In their game against Hampton, they shot just 1 for 9 from 3-point, the only triple coming late in the game by Jason Drake. And this reminds me of a Dion Waiters quote where he said, "I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9 because if you go 0 for 9, that means you stop shooting." The Dragons should not stop shooting at all. I think against Monmouth, a team that loves to take that extra shot. We've seen Abdi Bashir miss his first 3-pointer and then go in for a second attempt or a third attempt. And we've seen Jack Collins, who has 11 points already, doing the same thing. The Dragons need to match that. They need to be able to be giving it as much, even if you're not making every shot, giving it as much on offense as the Hawks have done in the first half. I think that is the recipe for how the Dragons could come out with a win. With that, let's take a look at the CAA standings right now and talk about some big CAA scores because very exciting time of the year, the 2025 Jersey Mike CAA Men's Basketball Championship will be taking place from next Friday to next Monday, I believe it is, in Washington, D.C. The Dragons could fall anywhere between seeds 7 through 10. Today's game will obviously determine that. But talking about some other CAA matchups today, the Hofstra Pride are up on the NC-A&T Aggies 25-22, and the William and Mary Tribe are up on Northeastern 41-31. Both those games are at halftime. We saw also some big scores on Thursday night as the UNCW Seahawks destroyed the Campbell Camels 79-60 at home behind a great game from Harlan Obioha, as well as kind of a surprising one, Charleston able to get the win at home against Delaware, but only a 10-point victory where they allowed 84 points to the Blue Hens, including a 30-point game for John Camden. As the CAA gets ready to conclude its season and as these 14 teams prepare to head to DC, how are you feeling about the Dragons' chances? I'm feeling pretty good. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Hopefully they can get the win today. And with that, that is all we have for you today here at the Dragons TV Halftime Show. We hope you enjoy the second half. All right.